Good morning, Tom.
What's up, buddy? It's a cat.
Thank you. Happy December. Nothing
Happy
better
December.
than warming in another cold morning with a bowl of lukewarm, too much water oatmeal out of a bag.
Yeah, that sucks. You gotta keep
It's
like
not too bad.
a you gotta keep like a extra can of just oats so you can just chuck some in there real quick if you need
Yeah,
to.
I we have that. We have a gigantic barrel of the oats, and I thought this my entire life, my entire adult life. It's like oatmeal's a good meal in the morning. We should just have oats and 5-pound bags of rice and beans instead of buying
And they
like
just sit there.
and they sit there because there's nothing more boring on a Tuesday than like oats with nothing in them. Um,
Gotcha.
but it's okay. It's enjoyable. My second day, starting day with coffee. It's a little bit better than yesterday. Still not Celsius.
Okay. All right. How do you brew your coffee? Like what's your thing? Do you actually brew it? Are you a cold press? I don't know all the terms, so it's like asking a question that
Oh
I
yeah,
half
no,
care about.
nothing special. Just brewed coffee, a little bit of oat milk, and some honey.
Okay. Okay.
Pretty
Nice.
good. Makes it kind of brings down the bitterness, the bite,
Yeah.
I guess you would
Yep.
say. Oh man. Yeah, another day, Dom, talking about December and the end of things. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Robbie. And good morning. We have a new friend, Blast Reach. Blast, how'd you find us? How you
Who are you?
doing? What's up? Tell us a little bit about yourself if you want to. Um, we can go into a little bit of a spiel. I'm Dom. That's Jason. I'm in California. He's in Colorado. We come on here pretty much every morning, about 30 minutes, and we just kind of talk life, our lives, your lives, parenting, and we kind of read this little book here. It's called The Daily Dad by Ryan Holiday. It's a page a day.
I
Just read
have
the
I have
page
the red version.
and we talk about it. So, you sometimes we'll have some questions. Sometimes we will, throw the page into Chat GPT and see what our bot says to us. Um, and yeah, just kind of doing a little thing. So welcome again. And good morning, Greek Mike.
And we are not dad experts. We just happen to talk about it every day. Fellow streamer, Marine veteran,
Mm,
living in McAllen, Texas. Cool.
got
Kids or
it.
no kids?
Yeah, so you must have
Doesn't
came from the
matter.
referral of my friend Revan. He is a streamer, Marine veteran as well. And he's been sending people over. He and I went to college together. So he's a friend from long ago. So
Awesome.
got a
23 year
23-year-old
old.
son. Awesome.
Okay, that's good. I mean, it would have been awesome if you didn't have kids either.
Yeah.
Um, I have a 12-year-old, I have a 6-year-old, and a 10-year-old, all girls. And I'm also in the service. I'm a middle school teacher, so some days get pretty rough out there. But I'm surrounded by youth. Um, I'm what did I want to say? I was given the opportunity to do an interview with an online publication. I did it last year. I don't know if I ever shared it with you guys. Um, and it's kind of like they give you a list of questions that you can choose from, so it's kind of cool.
Okay.
So like last year, I talked to a little bit about like my art practice, being a dad, being a teacher, maintaining health and fitness and
Mhm.
all that jazz. And this time I'm trying to pick all the weird questions. And a lot of them are very Decemberish. So Blast Reach.
Okay.
And also, if you want to share your real name, we don't share real names out. Well, I mean we do, but it's like if you want us to refer to you as your first name, more than welcome to. But a lot of the questions are very Decemberish. A lot of questions on failure. Sean, Good morning,
Nice to
Sean.
meet you.
Nice to meet you. So it's a cool little end of the year reflection on what's been passed or how things have changed since my daughters grew up for a year, or how I've changed over the year of kind of, we're coming up on like a full year of what we've been doing here, at least for me. You've been doing it longer.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm ending the year with a positive note, with a reflection opportunity. And
Nice.
despite a very short sleep, I'm feeling pretty good. Say 8 out of 10.
Okay, good stuff. So I left our show yesterday. I went and worked out on the beach, leg day on the beach. It exhausted me, and I am sore this morning, so I don't like that, but I got it done. And then as I'm driving from this office to go to work, I start to hear that fun little click, 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 click on your tire that tells you you fucked.
Yep.
So pulled over, found what was in my tire, got my breakfast, and then headed to the America's Tire to get the flat fixed and tires rotated and all that stuff. So it wasn't too bad. Thankfully, I work in construction and I know well enough that I'm just getting nails and screws in my tires is just a part of my experience. So, I did get the full, insurance warranty package on the tires. So it's just like a, quick free swap there. No big deal. And then got back to the rest of my day and then went home early to the wife and kids and, hung out the rest of the day with them. So good solid day.
Cool. I'm glad you got home midweek.
Yeah, I've been going home most days.
Quiet. Hi. Is now a good time?
It's always a good time, Ryan.
I don't want to get in the middle.
Sean, this is my brother Ryan. Ryan is I would say this show is Ryan's brainchild, so he got this going. Started with Dom and our friend Blaze, who you might see sometime. You might see him in 2026. I don't know. He's doctoring or being comedian. I don't know.
Blaze 2027 is what we're going for.
Oh, Jason, you mentioned yesterday that when you hopped on with Blaze when I went camping, and I was like, you just gotta. If anyone remembers the the episode from The Office when Asian Jim came in, that was really funny. Where like they just pretended that it was Jim. I was like, Jason, I want you to be Asian Jim. Just sign on, and I want you to just make sure that you pretend to be there. Robbie, what's happening, buddy? But when you said that, I was like, oh, wait, how long ago was that? I was like, is that 2 years ago now? A little bit over 2 years, or is that a year and a half? I forget.
No, about a year and a half. It was June of 2024, and I was saying that I found the page where I did it. Oh yeah, I said it yesterday. Awesome. Yeah, and it was. I remember it was like 2 months of like I would text Ryan in the morning, and I would be like, "Hey, is it okay if I join you guys this morning?"
No, you would text me Linky.
Oh, or got link for like a month.
Linky. Right. Ryan wasn't sure he wanted you to come in and take over.
Well, it was a long
shadow on him.
It's okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I remember that. He vetted me quite a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just was like, jump on, Dom.
Yeah. Well, we're actually almost, I guess, a third of the way through December. And like every other day of December, we're reflecting on the way things end. Today's page is about deathbed confessions. Let's get happy, y'all. I changed my mindset a little bit last night. Yeah, last year I remember I was like, I said that I was like I felt super vulnerable and open and like just super aware of all of the lasts and the things that are ending. Whether it's so yesterday we talked about bad times, talked about meals that we would eat, those habits that eventually end that you don't realize are ending until months later. Yesterday, my normal morning routine is like getting breakfast together. I go upstairs. I ask my 12-year-old, "Hey, what do you want for breakfast?" It's usually like a bagel or something. Nothing crazy. That's just how I want to start the morning. That's our first connection. Hey, I'm going to make you breakfast. What do you want? It can be anything. And yesterday was the first time that I walked in. She's usually in the bathroom doing her hair, and she'll be watching a video or something. And I peek my head and I was like, "Oh, hey, what are you watching?" And she turns to me, throws daggers at my head through her eyes as she's curling her hair. Is like, "It's my favorite Instagrammer, or it's my favorite influencer. Can I just have a moment, Dad?" God.
Oh shit.
That was the first. So
So you went back into your room, crawled up into a ball, and cried for a little bit. Said, "Kristen, please spoon me."
took that. I said goodbye to my 12-year-old kid and said hello to my 12-year-old adult.
Yeah.
And then went and hugged my 6-year-old instead. That made me feel better.
That's why you have more than one, folks.
You grab him by the face. You're all I have now. You can't leave me.
Never grow up.
Never grow up. Exactly.
I think that's
Oh,
where
man.
with my 4-year-old being so fiery as she is, it's like it's always the reminder of like, all right, never mind. I don't have anything. I don't have anything after my oldest goes. So who is her favorite influencer?
I don't know. It was two girls sitting in a car, much like Blaze sits in a car when he's on, and they were eating what looked like a Chipotle burrito bowl. I think just talking.
Are you sure it wasn't just snorting cocaine?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't just snorting cocaine, Ryan.
Okay, I just double checking. You got to always just make sure.
But here's the thought. Okay, so after that happened, I was walking back downstairs, and I was feeling a little singed around the sides. I was feeling a little burnt. I needed some ointment that only my 6-year-old could provide. And I was like, if I were less, I was also thinking, if this were my only child, how would this feel? Like you're like having one kid that go through all this stuff with, and you get one chance. And this is not like a bash on like only childs, but it's like, that's gotta be, I feel like from my mindset, seeing these changes and being able to see it 3 times, I'm like, that's gotta be tough. If and when you realize that. It's like you get each stage once, and I could only imagine that the pressure to be present is greater. But I could be wrong, and I would love to hear the point of view from somebody who has one child and what that feels like. And I think it's just because it's December and reading this book, and this particular chapter is all about things ending every single day. Yeah, that was just a little takeaway. Like if I were in a less positive mood, would I have snapped back and be like, "Fine, I'm not making you breakfast. I'll see you in the car."
Yeah, there is a level of like what we're talking about regret and getting towards that end of those chapters, or even the end of life, and thinking about that. I know, like from experience, my wife's mom, she has told us a number of times that she like regrets, especially when we were telling her we're stopping at 2 kids. She's like, I kind of regret not having more children. And I think that's just because she's really loving this grandparent life. And I think she still has more time and love to give like more grandchildren. And so she's sitting there with only 4, and like, that's not too little or too much or anything like that. And so I get what you're saying, because for us with multiple children, it's like I'm at the point where I got a 17-year-old, so she's in that time frame of walking out and moving on to her own, and I'm definitely losing all those things. But I have my 2 little do-overs, like, oh, I can do what I didn't do with the first one with this one, and I can do what I didn't do with the other two with this one. Like, so yeah, when you have those moments where they're like, "Dad, don't talk to me. Well, I need my space." You're like, okay, well, I'll just go talk to the next one.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at. Um, regrets. This is today. Today's all about regrets. I don't have any regrets off the top of my mind, but the overall theme is like once in a while you will read a story or see a story, possibly, maybe you have, I have, of like interviews from elderly or people who are towards a little more on in their years about their regrets, and it's never, the saying is like, it's never like, you never regret like staying those extra hours after work. You never regret finishing that email. You never regret not getting that promotion. The stories are all always about like, not regretting not being home more, or regret not staying up later, or regret getting mad at your kids because they're not going to bed at time, or finishing broccoli at dinner. I don't think I have any regrets right now, but I'm sure there will be in the future. Like my regrets now are much more along the lines of like being able to provide like awesome vacation opportunities for my girls. We have families that like they take some like big trips every break, sometimes international. And like, well, we just can't do that. So, we'll make the most of our time where we're at. That's my biggest regret right now, but it's not like I would have wanted to change any of my decisions in the past to allow me to do that. What are your thoughts?
When I think about regret, I think about someone who didn't know what they really wanted. I think that when we go through life, like I think the typical things that you're like saying about kind of work and stuff like that too. But if we really think about like what is enough, what do we want to define ourselves as a person, make these decisions, which really I think is, and Dom, you can correct me because I know that you're more of our resident stoic here, but I think that stoicism really comes from the idea of making sure that you do kind of have a direction, that you've made a decision, that you kind of move with action instead of looking for the outcome. And so if we can kind of set our intention and set those actions and say, hey, as a father, I want to make my kids feel safe, right? If that's like our number one goal, then we know that going through life, it's safety is number one, right? And so on our deathbed, when we look back and we've decided that safety was our main goal for our children, then looking at something like, as an example, I don't know, just fun as general as it really is. It's like, well, I wasn't always trying to be the fun father, right? I just want to make them feel safe, which isn't wrong if someone, obviously that's what they want to do. But I think we have to make that decision now of who we want to be and make sure that we aren't jumping back and forth between like Jason, even now, like with your 12-year-old, like making the decision to be just emotionally stable in that moment, right? If all of a sudden you're like, well, hold on, I want to be your favorite influencer. Okay, I'm going to start making all these TikToks and these like Instagram like reels right now because I want to make sure that it's like, but that's not who you are, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
so I just wanted to hit on that point you just brought up.
Yeah, what's up?
One of the things that I had to kind of remind myself to do is in those moments, because I'm sure that I will have many of those moments coming up this year, is to not get sappy and make that the reaction to everything. Like my initial reaction would have been being like, oh, you don't love me anymore. Like, I don't want that to be
It's
like
guilt.
I don't want that to be like her expectation of me. It's like, oh, okay, you need space. I'll disappear. That's fine.
Mhm.
It should be more like, like respect, like create the boundary, like like that's what that age is all about, is learning to create those boundaries and what she wants as a person or what she needs as a person. And if she just needed a moment to like kind of sit there and do her, like that's her morning routine. Like
Yeah.
that's what this is for you. Like you want space right now from your family to like psych yourself up for the day and have like a good, and that's what she's doing. My daughter does that too. She goes in there and she takes forever in the bathroom. But like we have
Mhm.
other bathrooms and like I don't need to be disturbing her. So
Yeah.
it's almost like instead of being sappy, you should be like respect. Like good job.
Yeah. Well, I had the frame of mind that that's what I did. It was like, okay, that's how a 12-year-old version of you knows how to set your boundaries. So I will
Hmm.
I will carry on. And I hope that's something that's memorized. It's like, oh yeah, my dad when I was younger, like he knew when I wanted to be alone.
Yeah.
And he was there anyway. Like she didn't have to didn't want her to feel like she had to apologize for being moody. Just that's how she knows how to set them right now. I'm really glad that Sean is here because, kind of like you, Dom, I like hearing the point of view from kids who are in their 20s. You just said that like the smaller trips are more memorable, and like that's great to hear because most of our trips are on the smaller side. Trips that are repeatable and easy to do. So that's very heartening for us out here for sure. Yeah, and same thing. Uh, I, I I hope that my the frame that I'm keeping with her, is that I'll always be there, whatever mood she's in. So, and not regretting snapping back at her or giving her a silent treatment. That'd be dumb. Why would a 45-year-old
No.
guy give a 12-year-old silent treatment?
I also feel that her emotions are not in isolation, right? So like her asking or her telling you, "Hey, I'm watching this right now." I maybe this is me projecting, but she probably is thinking, "Oh man, I just did push my dad away. That was different." She might not know what that really is, but she's like, "Oh wait, hold." Like she might not know that she's setting a boundary. She might not know that she needed that time away. She might not know that that there's this relationship dynamic that kind of shifted, but something feels different. And so I would completely be open to the idea that she could come back to you in like 2 days and be like, "Hey, Dad, what was I? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to push you away." In that kind of moment, but just to bring it to her mind, I'm assuming she probably is thinking a little bit about it.
Yeah. Well, let's question for you guys. I've talked a lot, um, and this is a thought that I think that I've thought. What is something that maybe you might be expecting to regret, or when you think about regret later on in your years, do you ever think about the things that you're doing now that you think or imagine that you might regret?
Dom,
Next time, send us the questions first so that we can pick which
Nope.
okay,
ones.
Pop quiz.
I love questions.
I'm channeling Ryan right now.
Love questions. I love them. Dom, since you're first years, can you let us know
Something that I'm
how you
expecting to
started with that
regret. I
question?
mean, I've already mentioned on here, like I regret. I already have some regret, and I'm going through this process with this show and with this book and with all this realization, and then with my second and third kids, like that. I, have regret on the like how much I didn't see and appreciate like the first, like those first years with Bailey. Um, I don't think I was like, I don't want to paint a picture like I was gone all the time, but like I was there for a lot of it. But it just, I didn't have the perspective or the frame of mind to like really, like truly understand how like that whole process worked because it was our first kid. I was very young when we had her. So, while I was there, I just don't know that I really like attached and like soaked it in completely. And I'm kind of like feeling that right now as I do differently with the two kids now. Like as I just really like soak everything I can out of the time and the moments. I don't know that I did that enough or as much with Bailey.
What can I just ask when you, because I have my own thoughts, and I'm stopping myself from sharing my thoughts before I ask a question because I want to be in the moment here with you. When you think about what was your word? You said soaking it in.
Hmm.
I what is there a moment that you would go back to specifically and like want to soak back in that could kind of change the course or direction of certain things?
Um, I don't know. I mean, it really could just be the fact that my memory just doesn't work well. Like, and I wasn't sleeping well, so like the memories weren't really recording through the night or something like that, or I just, it could just be memory loss of, the fact that it's been 17 years and I just can't recall all those moments. Whereas the other two kids, it's very fresh. Like I said, I wasn't like an absent dad. We actually lived really close to where I worked. So like I could be home in a split second versus now, taking 2 hours to get home. So I could just be completely wrong. I could just be remembering it wrong.
I feel like for you to say I wasn't an absent dad, like to kind of defend that a little bit in your head, like you're defending it to yourself a little bit,
Hmm.
is I feel like that's a
Sometimes
little
I
bit
feel
heavy.
like I am or
What
was.
Okay. What if by definition, physically, someone said that you're an absent dad? What would you think about that? Physically.
What do you mean?
Because emotionally, I know that you're in touch with your kids. I know that you're talking with them when you're away, but like,
Oh no, I think I'm more physically present with them than
okay.
emotionally present with them. So I think that's what I'm
Oh,
saying. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like
interesting.
my emotional, like my connection with them as people, like knowing them and like having deeper conversations and them coming to me. And there might be a little bit of a male female like in thing there, where they feel more comfortable telling their mom things than their dad things, or their mom feels more comfortable asking them things versus me. Like there's a little bit of that, like for obvious reasons. Um, but no, physically, I think is where I've always been. Like I've always been there for the stuff. Like I've always been there to play with them, to hang out with them, to coach their soccer or softball, going on trips, camping, whatever. Teaching them how to do anything. I've always been there for all that stuff. I think it's more
That's
of an
awesome.
emotional connection. Like when I sit there and like look at my kids or want to ask them a question and I get back the zero response, the fine, or the daggers, as Jason said earlier. I'm like, oh, what's missing here? Like why are we not connected enough to have a conversation like about how their day was, or how their weekend was, or what's going on with this friend. Like Bailey had a really good friend, and then now they're not friends anymore. And I still can't even like really get anything out of her as to like why or how she can repair that relationship because she was a really good friend. Um, and I don't know if that's, I think I'm taking it as a me thing, but it's probably just as much a her thing as it is a me thing.
Oh
She's
yeah.
probably just doesn't even understand what's going on and hasn't really figured out how to bridge that gap and repair.
Yeah, I think she might not know. One of my, for lack of a better term right now, I would say one of my true north, the thing that kind of brings me back sometimes is the children's book that I mentioned a long time ago. I think it's the best kids book of any age, like from newborn to teenager. The Rabbit Listened. I still think to this day it is the best book to teach anybody about how to emotionally deal with a friend or someone close to you. And I will forever kind of try to be the rabbit in every situation where I'm just there. And that's what I want my girls to definitely feel, is that I didn't push too hard, but I was there just enough. But yeah, it always makes you want to reread it. So
yeah, Ryan, I'll agree with that. We have the book. I was doing some Christmas gift shopping in a store and in a toy store, and I saw the book, and it was a reminder that book actually existed, because we read it a long time ago. And I can't remember, this was at least last year. I think one of the days this month is in the 20s. Once you get like past December 20th, is what we want our kids to remember us by. And I remember saying something along the lines of like, I just want them to, or no, I think it's the 28th, because I was reading my old journal from last year. And I think it was the 28th that was like, what would your eulogy be? Or like, what would your kids say at your eulogy? You know, like all the happy things, ending the year on such a happy note of what are people going to say at your funeral? Can't wait for that day, y'all. But
Jason's going to be sick.
I said something along the lines of, I hope that they would say that he was just always there.
Yeah. Jason, good news. The 28th is a Sunday, and we typically skip Sundays.
Then we'll do it on Monday.
Or I'll just wake up that day and we'll do it Sunday.
Yeah.
Can I just end with one thing I think about a lot is that quote from Interstellar. I just looked it up so I get it right. About like everything we're talking about now. It's like when we think about our parents, like we're not really ever thinking about like in the moment. We're thinking about when we were, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, when you were 12, when you were 10, when you were 5, when you were maybe a teenager, whatever's going on. But that quote from Interstellar, once you're a parent, you're the ghost of your children's future, right? Like they are forever now thinking back to what we created today. Like it doesn't matter what we are going to do with them in 20 years. It's going to be like what we're doing right now that is going to, be what parenting is, who we were as a parent. I was looking back at pictures of my dad recently. I brought them to Thanksgiving, and I was looking, and I showed my dad a picture, and I said, Dad, this is like, it was my dad on a beach in a chair wearing shorts with like the beach tag. Because you had to pay in the beach there, like on his shorts, like, and like the hat he was wearing and how he was sitting. Like, I know what my dad is as a parent, and it will forever be that in my head. It won't be anything else. At least what I think about right away. So what's up, Hazel?
Hazel, what would you say at my funeral?
Oh God. Make me breakfast.
Good morning. He made me breakfast. He never made me wet oatmeal.
His oatmeal was always a good consistency. He always nailed the oatmeal consistency. Always remember that.
The back scratches.
Yeah. Good morning. Are you dressed? Good.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for hanging with me today.
Yeah, Sean, great to meet you. Hope we see you again.
Yeah, come by, dude. We're like I said, we're here every morning about this time for about this amount of time. And have a good day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah. Good guys.
Bye guys.
Good.
Love you.
See you guys. Love you too.
Yes.
Say it back. Say it back. Say it back. Say it back.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
Music.